Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flick Show. My name is Chris Wong. Aloha Friday. It is going to be a 3-day weekend for, a lot of people. So I thought I'd get this out of the way. There are some updates, but one of them is kind of funny. It's regarding Birds of Prey. Now, we've been talking about Birds of Prey, possible casting choices and things like that, who's going to play who, and things like that. And, scoopers out of everywhere, every corner are trying to get in on it. So, this latest one is about Lady Gaga. We've talked about Lady Gaga. We did, but apparently Warner Brothers, according to some people like Mario Robles, Daniel RPK, Super Bros, I don't know the guy's name, they said that their sources are saying that Warner Brothers really, really want Lady Gaga to be in Birds of Prey as either Huntress or Black Canary. I'm leaning more Black Canary, I think. I think it's more Black Canary, right? So they really want her. They're upping the money for her. They really want her to be in it. So if everything goes well according to them, then she is gonna be in Birds of Prey. And now, for anybody who doesn't think Lady Gaga can act, she can act from what I've experienced in American Horror Story. I was surprised that she could act in that. And apparently there's a new movie coming out called A Star is Born or Star is Reborn or something like that. And she apparently is really good in there, like Oscar award winning type performance in there. So that's kind of pretty cool. And I'm okay with it. I'm really fine with her being in Birds of Prey. I think she could probably knock it out of the park with her performance. I think most people who are thinking Lady Gaga only know of her musical, achievements. Maybe you haven't seen American Horror Story. Maybe you haven't seen, well, the new movie didn't come out yet, unless you're one of the lucky few who can watch it. But you haven't seen that. So I think when people watch that new movie or watch American Horror Story, they can kind of see that, hey, she's got the chops, so maybe she can be a contender for Birds of Prey. Of course, there's always that other scooper, a scooper, Humberto Gonzalez, who always got to shoot everything down. Whether he's right or not, who knows? But he says no one has been hired, which is in the case true because they're still giving her money, but that Lady Gaga is not even in the one of the names. He also kind of got into a scooper fight on Twitter with a couple of the scoopers who talked about Lady Gaga, and they trade about different sources and stuff like that. So who knows? But that's what's going on Twitter. And Mario Robles kind of came back and says, nope, his scoopers are right, and things about stopping the anti-hype train. So I don't know if Umberto is part of that anti-DC hype train. He is more, even back in the day, I used to like the guy back in the day when he was more DC. Now he kind of just really is more negative towards that now. For whatever reason, I have no idea. But he did say that the casting announcement would come in around, or casting would be around like mid to late September, which is pretty soon. So that kind of goes in line with, if Lady Gaga is in contention for it, then she approves it, then all the casting announcement would be in mid to late September. So that seems to be all right to me. So we'll see who else is going to be in the part for Birds of Prey, and really looking forward to that, to see a little bit more information for that movie coming out. The other movie is Joker. Joker looks like people have been taking pictures of Joaquin Phoenix out on the road. He's gotten really skinny, and people are like, "Oh my God, he's getting skinny for the role." I don't know if skinny Joker is exactly that. I guess Joker is most of the time skinny, but he's very a transformative type actor. So I can totally see him getting into the role, and people are already doing fan nips of him looking like a crazy looking Joker. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of fun to go to that phase again, where we're like, what is Jared Leto's gonna look like? What was Heath Ledger's gonna look like? Those times, that excitement of fan manipulating the actual actors and actresses to get to that point. I haven't seen too many Lady Gaga ones. I think when it gets a little closer, if that's even more true, then I can start totally start seeing people start costume manipulating her and stuff like that. And I like those moments because those are really exciting for the fandom to actually you start to imagine those people filling those roles all the way up to the point where they actually see the official reveals of these characters with these actors and actresses as these characters. So that's really, really cool. Apparently, there's also promotional art for Aquaman. I don't want to display it here. Actually, I've gotten in a lot of trouble with copyright things. That's why I don't really display much here anymore. Just letting you know. But anyway, apparently Aquaman is in his full, costume, the ones from the comics where it's like the gold scale and things like that. So we're actually probably gonna really see that. It looked really nice in the promotional art. I can totally imagine him looking like that. It's not a too much of a big deal, but I guess it for the people who are really want that comic accurate Aquaman, I think they should be pretty happy with it. I mean, and in comic accurate, I know there's a lot of people out there. Some of them I know who are like he has to be blonde, he has to be short hair and things like that. And it's a movie. It's another interpretation of a movie. So I kind of get that, and I totally and with that, and it's not gonna always gonna be like how you see in the comic books. There are sort of times like that. I mean, look in the Marvel movies. Not everything in there, like Thor doesn't have those wings on his head. He did for a little while, but for the most part, it's not there, and it's fine. So different interpretations of the comic. It doesn't have to be comic accurate. And that kind of leads me into real quickly about Hector Navarro. I know people are coming out at it was really interesting. I find it really very funny how they think because of the Snyder Cut, that's why we're upset about Hector Navarro and Clark Wolf. But I like to say that I don't quite care for them. Sorry, my opinion. Personally, I don't care for them before Justice League, before Batman v Superman. I mean, just the things I've heard from the shows, I just personally don't care for him. I did get into a little bit of a Twitter fight with Hector Navarro. I remember this very well. It's about Domino, and he was calling everybody who hated Domino's casting for Deadpool 2 as being racist, Zazie Beetz, and all the way down to people who are comic book aficionados. And I like Zazie Beetz and Domino. She was great. She was fun. She's great in that characterization. But in terms of, I actually had to defend the comic book people. And Hector Navarro is really like that social SJW, like really into the kind that don't really want to understand the opposition and just automatically calling them racist. And I don't like that. I think you should understand who you're talking to first, understand where they're coming from. Now, if you understand where they're coming from and they're truly racist, then yeah, okay, you're racist. But in this case, in Domino, there are comic book aficionados who want to protect the art that comes out of comics, where Domino has to look a certain way. And they were okay with her being black as long as she had that look of having that white with the black, but of course, they changed it the opposite. So she is colored, and they decided to do a white patch instead. And so that part is what the costume part of it. And I tweeted back and forth, and he started calling me like I'm not really Chinese. I'm actually a white guy or something like that. And I was like, what are you talking about? But then he finally did agree on the grounds when I brought up the art part of it, and I think which I appreciated that he actually thought better about that. But in a lot of his shows, the Collider Heroes, when he comes on, he really just busts out the race card all the time, and it doesn't have to go that way. I think there's so much more layers to that than black and white. Not that I mean that in a racist content, but it's just there's a gray area there, and that's why I don't really care for Hector Navarro per se. And Clark Wolf, she's a horror aficionado. Like, they're talking about comic books, and she even says it herself on the shows of Colliders that that's not her area of expertise. So why would you get someone who's not her area of expertise to go on there? That's why I'm like thinking Mike Kalinowski, Jason Inman, or other people as well would have been a lot better at hosting this show than those two. That's my personal opinion, and that's why in that case. Nothing to do with the Snyder Cut. I know you just guys want to go there because you're thinking like this is ammo. This is ammo for those Snyder cult people, and you always go right to that moment. But speaking about Justice League for a second, this one is really interesting. I really just got this like now, but the actual musical score. So huge track, and it's Justice League complete motion picture score. There's a lot of tracks on here that is not on the official soundtrack. It's about an hour and 55 minutes, and as you know, the movie is like 2 hours, but there are parts where there is no music, no scoring. So this really looks like this is the score that Danny Elfman, as we all know, he only looked at storyboards to score. He didn't actually look at the film because Joss Whedon was still working on it. So a lot of them was done from storyboards. And there are a couple tracks in there that are Phone Call and Lab Break-In. I'm not really sure what Phone Call is and what part of the movie would kind of be. I'm trying to think. But Lab Break-In is the one that really caught my attention because we've seen some pictures of more to the Lab Break-In scenes. There are even some official magazine pictures where they're ready to fight somebody or they're going into a battle in the Star Labs either before or after they help Superman revive. So I thought there was something more to that, especially when at that point where Superman just takes off with Lois and Steppenwolf just all of a sudden there's a boom tube and Wonder Woman just dubs over a scene and just says, oh, Steppenwolf has a last mother box. And so I'm like, there's something there. It's like they cut something out. And I think maybe they probably fought Steppenwolf. Who knows? Or they fought a more angrier Superman or something. And then I got to listen to it, and it is definitely an action scene. It's definitely an action scene. It's 2 minutes, and where is it? 2 minutes and 29 seconds. 2 minutes, and that doesn't seem long to you, but for a fight scene, that's pretty long. Especially when you look at other tracks, like I don't know, Tunnel Fight is like 1 minute 20 and 4:30. Where's the Waking Superman? Okay, Heroes Park is like 4 minutes. So 2 minutes and 2.5 minutes of actual fighting. It sounds like an action piece. It sounds pretty good, and it sounds Danny Elfman. But I'm listening to it, and it sounds pretty good. It sounds like a real action piece. So there is quite a scene that happened in Justice League, possibly in the Zack Snyder cut of the film with the lab break-in. In fact, I'm probably actually 100% sure that's a Zack Snyder scene. Whether or not we're ever going to see that, but it's kind of cool that we can actually listen to it, and there's more in here, and I hope you get to hear this. I don't know what type of release this would be and how this guy even got it. We're still talking about it, but if I know more, I'll let you guys know, because it has been pretty quiet, right? Zack Snyder hasn't posted anything. The last thing he did was yesterday was a throwback Thursday to a film, what he shot in Smallville for the Smallville fight scene in Man of Steel. That's all he showed, nothing else. There has no insiders. Nobody is talking about has Walter Hamada even read the letters? Who knows? No one has said. It's eerily quiet, but so this little nugget here is kind of refreshing to hear this lab break-in scene, because my mind's just going nuts. Like, what's happening in this scene? I want to see it. I want to see the fight scene. And who knows, if there's an extended Whedon cut, we'll probably get to see it, and maybe we'll piece out the pieces. But until then, we're just gonna have to use our imagination until something actually comes out. And hopefully, some of the fan edits that are coming out. AB Director is doing one. Whiplash Dynamo, is that Whiplash Dynamo? I might. I think it's Whiplash Dynamo is making another one, and they're the unauthorized Snyder cut, and there's another one coming. I forgot who it was, but so we'll get more of that content later until we actually finally get the actual Snyder cut. But until then, I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful 3-day weekend. I'll probably do one more video this weekend, and then hopefully we get some bigger news next week. All right, guys, thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for watching my sweaty head, and I'll see you next time. Bye.